trying to put a really big sandblaster in a really small barn. All right. Oh no, I'm not putting down my Nismo flag.
Let me help you.
It's not going in.
Well, you pulled it away from the wall.
It's not going in. Like straight up, it's not going in this way. It's gotta go this, it has to go that way. Yeah, because it's touching here, it's touching there, and it's touching over there. So that's pinched. Tiny but mighty. Or at least I can move a big hunk of sheet metal. Wow, that really went when it went. All right, I'm gonna look back here now.
Oh. Okay.
Ow, ow, ow. Oh, I'm stuck between the sandblaster and the corner of the shelf. All right, we're almost there. I just gotta do a little more. Or wait. Oh, that's right. I'm not going all that way. All right, we went too far. And then we'll just put like, when we put the blower back there, we'll just cover it with a flag or something, keep the dust down. Well, it's in there now, and the barn is wrecked. So I gotta do a lot of setup tomorrow, but right now I ran a little jumper, not a jumper, I ran a splitter cord off of the cord that normally plugs in over there and powers the stove fan. But now we have power. Just have to hook up my super complex air idea, and we'll be rocking and rolling. Alright, so it's 5:30 in the morning. I couldn't wait to do this till after work. I want to do this now. We're going to overhaul this air system for that Sandblaster. Let's get to it. Alright, I got the wrong fittings for my airlines. Oh well, I thought I had automotive fittings. I have industrial fittings. But the Sandblaster has cleaned up really nice. Sorry about the shot, I can't get any farther away. Yeah, it cleaned up really well. I mean, the glass has that gluey stuff on the inside, but I mean, this thing was pretty brown when it showed up. So it's pretty decent. Just went out and got a couple more things for the shop. Got some lumber to make a grinder table. I got a parts washer, and I got degreaser for that. It is an early Saturday morning. I'm in here getting some upgrades in the shop done. See, it's sun's just coming up, and starting to be that time of year. I'm gonna start. That can't be right. It's not 60. Whatever. Maybe I'm a baby, but it's starting to get chilly. That can't be right. Bro, my fingers are cold. Huh. Well, you know what? Let's pretend this side's Fahrenheit. Oh my God! Look, it's 15 degrees outside. Hold on. It's 15 degrees outside. First thing we're going to start with is the Sandblaster. We're going to replace this old rusty worn out pickup tube with this new one. Hopefully this fixes the problem. Last time I was running it, it just completely stopped blowing media. The power zone area, the weld's rusted through, so I'm hoping that's the problem. I'm going to have to drain out some of this media, and we'll get that installed.
When you're draining out aluminum oxide, it makes a lot of dust. Wear some kind of protection, because aluminum oxide is not good for your lungs. Also, my hair looks hilarious. Should have left my hat on. Quite dusty. Again, bad to breathe.
Next, we're going to put together a wash tank. And then we're going to pull all this stuff out. We're going to build... How did I not see the lumber was right there? We're going to build a little table right there to hold those two grinders that I use. And the wash tank will go around there somewhere. Just like up here with taking my shelves to the ceiling. I'm trying to maximize the small amount of space I have. But anyway, wash tank, then shelf. Alright, wash tank is put together. I got the pump in. This is all good to go. I'm going to be running Zep. I couldn't find any Simple Green, but this will work well. I believe this bottom shelf I put on upside down, but I did that intentionally. So, you know, I put bolts or something on here. It's not going to sit here and roll off the flat bottom. So, all right, start pulling stuff out here. All right, let's go ahead and fill up the tank. All right, that stuff smells pretty good. That's weird. I don't know if that's supposed to be scented necessarily, but. All right, I put a little too much water in, so I'm gonna go ahead and drain out some of the detergent. Well, I'm not going to. The wash tank's gonna do it for me. So, just gonna wait a little bit. Alright, the Sandblaster is operational again. I don't have the airline hooked up. So there we have it. Alright, so this is a mess. Now that we got the Sandblaster running, we got the bench grinder, bench built, and the wash tank is in place. This is the next thing I want to deal with. Alright, we'll do a before and after here because I'm not sure that it looks better. It might just look different. So here's your before. And here's your after. If nothing else, I at least made a lot more room by the door. So I got a little ultrasonic cleaner so I don't always have to use the 55-gallon hot tank. So just for little things, bolts and whatnot. And pretty sure I purchased this yesterday at like lunchtime, and it's about 3 o'clock on a Thursday. I ordered it Wednesday around lunch, so very impressive on the shipping. Alright, so I have this thing set up here. It's set at 80 Celsius, which is about 176 degrees Fahrenheit. I just turned it on, so I have the heat function going. It's not running the ultrasonic yet. I just have it filled with some Simple Green, because that's what's good for using on aluminum parts. If I'll do specifically just bolts, I might run like, you know, some Zep or something like that, but I'm going to try it on this piston and some bolts, because this is some pretty heavy grease, and then I want to see what it does to the bolts. So I'm going to go ahead and let that heat up and put some parts in it. So here's the carbon buildup on the piston. Here's a somewhat greasy, rusty bolt. Here's 2 rusty bolts, another greasy bolt. Right now we're at 22 degrees Celsius, which is about 71 degrees Fahrenheit. It went up from 11. It's been about 20 minutes. So it definitely doesn't heat up super fast. I'll probably boil water and then put it in, because it'll probably keep it warm better than it will heat it up. But I think I'm going to stick it in for 5 minutes at this temp and just see what it does to it. And then we'll do it a lot longer when it's hotter, because obviously we know that'll do better. Alright, and I think this will make a decent amount of weird noise when I start it. Yeah, if you can hear that, it's very weird. I definitely don't want to be around it when it's making that noise. I'd like to just put on my headphones and work. Alright, see what happened. There's a little bit of scum on here. So, didn't do a whole lot, but like I said, I didn't expect it to in a fight. Well, it did some stuff. Let me pull that bolt out. So, I think it actually pulled some of that off. And like the head of this bolt isn't as disgusting now. So, like I said, when that's up to temperature, that might actually work pretty well. Like I said, I'll do it longer than 5 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and speed up this heating process. Alright, you can see the little bit of steam rising. This is quite hot. Now that I poured that in, that temp is going up really fast. Or at least as fast as this thing can handle. Why does it look so weird on camera? That make it better? Oh, look at that. There you go. Now you can see it going up. So I obviously probably boiled it. This thing only goes to 180. That was probably 200 at least. So it'll probably pin that at 80. But let's go ahead and start it. I'm going to do 15 minutes. Changed my mind actually. I got plenty of stuff to do outside real quick before the sun goes down. So let's go ahead and start it and get to it. Turn the heat off. This lid is very hot and I want to put it down somewhere. Let's pull this stuff out. How hot is this going to be? I got to put the camera down for that. So first impressions, haven't even touched anything. It did a pretty decent job. This stuff didn't come off of this bolt because obviously it's rust. But yeah, I mean look at that piston. That did a lot. Oh wow, yeah, that did a lot to the blow by. That browning and stuff. And it was only 20 minutes. So I mean I leave engines in the hot tank for 6 or 7 hours. I actually want to brush this real quick with a brush and see what happens. So I gave it a quick brush and stuck it back in for 2 minutes to get the stuff off, and yeah, look at that. That is like a brand new finish. Oh, I think it actually got the stuff off the corners too. Oh wow. So yeah, honestly, I think what I'll do from now on, I'll put it in there for maybe 5 minutes, then I'll brush everything and put it back in. Because like this stuff, I barely brushed. I tried to and I was like, I can't get that. But it came off anyway, so it's just a tiny bit of agitation. I mean, it looked like that when I started. And you know, if you've ever worked on engines and tried to clean pistons you're reusing, I wouldn't use these, well, obviously I wouldn't use this, but I wouldn't reuse a piston that I boiled in Simple Green because I think we already discovered it dissolves the molybdenum coating on the skirts. But let's say you had a part that was covered in carbon, like a valve or something. If you ever tried to just scrape it off, you know it's pretty hard to get off, especially on pistons. So a trick like this would be really cool. Actually, it might even clean up rods pretty well. Kind of want to do one of these and see what happens. Now these bolts don't look that clean because it's rust, and this has that weird green stuff on. I'm not really sure what it is, but it got all the grime off of it. They were black, so these could go right to the wire wheel now and be cleaned up and ready to get replated. So this time I'm doing a nice dirty valve, and then these old QR timing gears. They're pretty black from heat and oil in an engine. Let's see what it does to these after 10 minutes. Alright, see what's going on in here. Well, that's definitely a different color. That used to be black. The valve's a little bit cleaner. Now, like I said, I did what I said I would. I did them 5 minutes. Took them to the wash tank, scrubbed them with a brass brush real quick. I mean, a very quick scrub. I was not very thorough. So most of the work is being done by this cleaner, and it loosens up all the dirt. I mean, look at that. I can see the heat marks in it again. It's so clean. So it was definitely worth the, what was it, $133? And it showed up in like 24 hours. So let's go ahead and drain it. So I'm done with it for now. And that's that. That's another upgrade to a barn that never got used, but happily it does now. It's full of Nissans. This stuff actually got pretty dirty pretty fast. Like you can see, it's not, you know, as green as this stuff was. I mean, this is pretty green, and this is turning kind of yellow. So it pulled a lot of dirt out. I'm impressed with this little unit. I don't know why I find it satisfying to watch drains drain things. There's actually some sparkly stuff in here. So yeah, it pulled a lot of dirt out. So there you go. Obviously the black on the towel, and I don't know where the wood came from, but but yeah, this stuff, it pulled out. So it works. Look at this. Beautiful morning in the mountains. So as you can see here, and here, and there, trying to move this trailer yesterday, I kept getting stuck because it's been raining for days and days. So the field is a swamp, and even with four-wheel drive, adding 2,000 pounds, that little truck wasn't helping it move. And the Titan, which you can't see over there, is two-wheel drive, so it can't move in remotely wet grass. But so I'm out here early in the morning with Abby, so I can try to move this trailer and see if the Sentra fits on it while the ground is still frozen and I have some grip. Now, if this doesn't make sense why it's in this video, I'm just going to go over it really quick. I am in the middle right now of filming 8 videos. Like I said, I film everything I'm doing all the time, so sometimes I'm filming 1, sometimes I'm filming, well, like now 8, sometimes I'm filming 3, but I do a lot of stuff all the time, as you can see. So I'm always constantly filming stuff. So because I have my grandfather's tractor in the barn, because I'm dealing with brush over here, I have his trailer here, which I want to convince him to let me buy. I don't know where else that's going to fit into a video. Like none of the other videos that would work. I want to buy this so that I can take that racing next year. And I guess technically that's a shop update. I would have a trailer. We can move stuff. That's an update for the shop. So, yeah. Also, this poor truck, I promised it would get this truck's frame, which I do have to lengthen after this swap is done for Matt. Man, I hate seeing it like this, but it's still doing me well. It's still doing me well, even like this. This is the best angle I can give you guys. My tripod is still at Jeremy's garage. I keep forgetting to grab it. It's gonna be really hard to film without a tripod, but I'm dedicated. All right, I got my phone propped up on a tow hitch. See if it works or not. Let me make sure his handle's not in the way. Well, it looks like width-wise and lengthwise, because I already measured lengthwise, I'll fit, but I definitely can't get up those stock ramps. I already knew even the Altima would fit on this trailer, just barely. You have to get out the window. But yeah, ramps are a little bit too steep. They're definitely designed for a tractor. So anyway, now we know. Back to the shop update. Wish I had a tripod. God, it would make it so much easier. Oh yeah, I do. It's somebody else's shop. I want to thank my grandfather again for letting me use his John Deere to work on the property up here. Haha, pranked. Now what I'm trying to do today, you can see these little pockets of gravel emerging. When he had this barn built probably 25 years ago, all the way down to the road, back to the, about 10 feet back that way, and probably out to about here, and then like 20 feet back there, all was laid down with gravel a couple inches deep. Now obviously, after sitting for 25 years, dirt blows in, it lands, it gets collected, grass grows, and rocks go away. But they're still there. So, I'm gonna try to use the bucket on said tractor to turn all this ground upside down and get the rocks back up. Not sure if it's gonna work, but I'm gonna try. Well, I'm committed at this point. And it's supposed to rain for about a week, so as soon as I expose all this stuff, it should kind of get washed off, although that'll take months to fully be done. Well, we got it this far. I just drove the Sentra over this a bunch of times, as you can see, and it's actually very, very grippy now. I can come around this corner, you can see the path I took. I came around this at like 30 miles an hour, and I didn't slip. That's what I want, because when it rains, you come around here and then you end up sliding down the hill a couple feet. It's annoying. So, making progress. Hopefully, like I said, as it rains, some of this loose dirt will start washing away and leave more rock exposed. It's not going to be magic, but hopefully it does something. Whew. Digging a ditch to try to get this drier. It just started snowing. So the camera always makes it look like less than it actually is. So you can tell it's actually snowing really hard. That last clip was probably 3 minutes ago. Look at Abby. I just brushed her off a minute ago, if that. Well, I think that's going to be a wrap on landscaping for the day. This is supposed to go on for a couple hours, and it's only been 20 minutes. So, tractor's parked in here, free of snow. Take my little JR and maybe go start the fireplace for the day. So from here to over here I got done, and the snow still hasn't melted, but since that last clip it's been 2.5 weeks, so I don't think it's gonna melt anytime soon. And it's 16 degrees outside right now and my hands hurt, so again, I don't expect all this snow to melt anytime soon. So I know this video has been kind of all over the place, a little unusual being filmed over many months on kind of a couple different topics that just slightly pertain to the barn. But it's officially 2022. It's actually January 15th, 2022. I rung in the new year by getting sick for 2 weeks. So anyway, that's that. That's the end of 2021 as far as updating the barn went. The end of the year was a big period for expanding my capabilities in here. So anyway, as always, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope to see you in the next video, and I'll talk to y'all later.
I'm just calling to say I